talks, nobody talks, nobody talks shidduchim.
This is the Nobody Talks Shadchan podcast.
Yes, welcome. This is the Nobody Talks Shadchan podcast, and we have a very fun episode today, the Buchrim Tell All, What Happened to All the Good Guys, Part 2 in this series. I am sitting down today with a group of Buchrim to discuss their dating experience, what they cherish, their values, what they see as problems, some solutions, and some very interesting, unique stories from these guys dressed in white shirts and black pants. These real yeshiva guys are still learning, and they only wear blue shirts on Purim. I like that. I like that one. Okay. So welcome to the Buchrim Tell All. We have with us today Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome to the program. Tell everyone hi.
Thank you for having me, Isaac. Appreciate it.
And we have Derek.
Hi, everyone. I want to say a big shout out to IJ over here. Excellent guy. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be with Jeremy.
So we have a really fun show today, and we'll be getting back momentarily after these brief messages.
Hi, it's Chani from the Nobody Talks Shadchan podcast. Dating sites are a bit technical and so tedious to operate. Now there's an all-new way to get access to shidduch resumes and meet that special somebody. The Shadchanim group on WhatsApp by Shadchan has hundreds of guys and girls' resumes posted to it. Resumes are posted, and you can contact whoever posted that resume if you're interested in going out with that person. The group has dozens of matches made every week. To join the group, WhatsApp 443-333-7363 to join the Shidduchim WhatsApp group by Shadchan Shifi.
So welcome. This is episode 49, the Buchrim Tell All, What Happened to All the Good Guys, Part 2 in this series. What is bothering me about this, overall point is that there is a community out there thinking, there are no good guys left. Guys are the problem. If he'd only get his act together. And we need to stand up for ourselves. Last episode we had Mrs. Neymark come on and just give us a lot of nuances about the guys and their over expectations and how it's just not realistic and everyone just says no because of looks, and there's so much more to it. There's a lot more to it in this realm. And that's what I want to touch up with you two. So do you think that yeshiva has prepared you better than your friends who went to college, who didn't make learning a priority? And this is a foremost thought with so many of the yeshivish, modern yeshivish, and even some of the Modocs girls out there of, well, I want a from guy. I want a guy who learns. I want this. I want that. Tell me, are you better prepared?
So I'll say it like this. First of all, the guys that are in college, so in a way they're financially more prepared in that, if their parents can't help support or they don't have a way of getting support from somebody else, they have, ways to get the money, they're getting a job. Now, I'm not saying you need a degree to get a job, but if you're looking from a more of a plan standpoint, they have that.
I love that, yeah.
But a yeshiva guy, on the other hand, since he's in yeshiva all day and he's learning and he's, he's being around, he's being involved in all ruchnius ideas, the idea of bitachon and being able to understand Hashem's ways is instilled inside of him. So he's also prepared in the challenges that will come. Not saying that people go to college, don't learn most or that, but a guy who's involved with ruchnius things all day and he's really trying his best to understand everything that the ways of Hashem, he is prepared in that regard in how to deal with what life may take you, what life may come,
I love that. I love that you kind of broke that down between, it depends. It's ambiguous. What kind of plan are you actually looking for? Are your parents looking for you? And it all is subjective towards that. And I couldn't agree more. And I love that fact. I mean, I personally know. I don't feel I know. this is all in Hashem's hands. If you're meant to be in yeshiva all day, it'll be in yeshiva. If you're meant to be in the academic system, because I don't believe in this education nonsense, it's total nonsense, to the academic system, then you'll be there. If you're meant to just create an app and then Facebook buys it and you'll be the billion, it will happen.
In fact, the wealthiest people I know don't have college degrees.
Oh, really? Is that because you haven't gotten past the base medrash? Now, what you were saying before, though, with it's inevitable, and Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to. It's all your shemayim, and the Eibishter will deliver. Let's get beyond that, though, because shidduchim is a dirty business.
A roller coaster.
God literally, matchmakers, shadchanim, push God out of this thing.
Basically, they just talk the talk, but it's hard to
Yes,
actually. The girls actually.
Yeah. Please go.
They
ahead.
talk and say, "Oh, I want this, I want that," but like when it comes down to it, they really want to know. Meaning, maybe they're not on the level of betachon that they should be at. They have lofty goals, but it could be they're not on the level that they
are not at that level, right?
And therefore they say, I want, my husband, I want to know that he has X, Y, and Z, right? He might talk the talk also, and
but he doesn't. Yeah, right.
He might not be there.
Right, they say, well, I don't mind. I don't mind if he doesn't have X, Y, Z. But if he doesn't have it, that's the no. That's where the no's coming.
It's actually interesting because first of all, you can't be samech on a nace. If that's what the girls. So I understand again, girls who want a. Actually, I was reading in one of these Jewish newspapers. A girl wrote in to the newspaper, and she said that she's going out with a guy, and she said he's a learner. But she's not. He doesn't really have. He has an idea of a plan, but he's not really doing anything to get to that plan. And she said, "I'm very much learning. I want my husband to learn, but I'm just so nervous. I want a sense of security." So the people that answered back, I don't remember one of them that answered back. That's what I was thinking when I first read the question. Her answer is, when you go on the dates with the guys, don't first see what type of person he is. Is he a responsible person? Yeah. If you go on a date with a guy and you see, you could tell people's personality based on what the stories they say about themselves. If they're just like, if they're mufka from the world, then like they may not be the most responsible person. But if you go out with a guy that's responsible, that this guy will take care of his family. If the guy, I'm the type of guy, I have brothers and I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I'm like
You're
that
a family
fun,
man.
I'm a fan.
It's quite palpable.
I'm that fun uncle. I'm that fun uncle, and I love kids. So
Uncle Jeremy.
So a girl, if they see through the stories that I would say to them, they'll see like this guy will be a good father. He'll take care of him. He would never let us be on the street. So
but they don't see that right away. That's not what they're looking for.
Right. So the problem
that's not what they're saying. Oh, I think I will give him a chance because I'm interested in seeing how of a father he is.
No, but that's
not what they're doing on the first date. Derek, you agree?
I think so, but not the first date. But I think also I want to make one distinction over here that there's a difference between a guy who's 22, 23 and a guy who's 25, 26. So if a guy is 22, 23, he doesn't at all. I think for sure in the yeshivish of Welt, it's for sure mekubal. It's accepted that if he doesn't even think about it when he's 22, 23, that's also fine. If it's when he's 26, 27, different story. To think about it more. So, I mean, like, even if a girl is, like, very reluctant and when the guy's 23, it's different type of reluctancy than if he's 25, 26.
But my question is,
for sure.
What is the difference between a guy who's 22 and a guy who's 26 for the girl to look at? Meaning if let's say the 22-year-old and 26-year-old get married at the same time, both in yeshiva, they're both at the same stage in their life with regards to money, with regards to starting a family. So why should the girl say to themselves, he's 26, why is he not starting something? Oh, I'll be okay with the 22-year-old guy if he doesn't have a plan, but the 26-year-old has to have a plan. What is the difference?
I hear your question.
At the end of the day, what's the difference? I can understand an older girl saying, you know what, I want a guy with more of a plan. Why? Because she feels that she has to be less picky in a way, so she's open-minded. And secondly, for the girls who are getting older, I don't know what this is what I see. I think is that the girls who are older, they see a lot of their friends who are married, and their husbands already did the learning, and they're starting to get jobs, and they got houses, and they have kids, and she says to herself I'm going to start now living in a one-bedroom apartment. My husband's still learning. We have to watch what we have to spend, and it's very difficult. But let's say the girl does not have that mindset. I don't get what the difference between a 26-year-old and a 22-year-old is with regards regards to shidduchim. They're both at
very
the same.
open-minded of you, I have to say, yeah.
In fact, the 26-year-old has
That's a
more
way of
life
explaining it.
experience that you shouldn't just nix the 26-year-old. The 26-year-old has a grasp on reality, whereas the 22-year-old is like his parents are still running his life, especially in the yeshiva system.
Whatever age, yeah.
Especially in the yeshiva system, the mothers are still literally.
That could happen even when you're 26 also.
Yeah,
Even
but
when you're 28.
a girl should be more comfortable with a 26-year-old guy with regards to dealing with his mother than a 22-year-old, because the 26-year-old already, not that he distanced himself, not
Why
that he
is it
distanced
different
himself,
in that
not he
aspect?
distanced himself with his relationship with his mother, but he distanced himself emotionally dependent on his mother than the 22-year-old.
You should. A healthy individual should do that.
I get why a 21-year-old girl would not want to date a 26-year-old. There's a age gap, but if the 21-year-old is a mature girl, then it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying about that. If a guy's 22, there shouldn't be any difference if he's in the same stage of life as a guy who's 26. I hear that. But there is some point, I don't know when exactly that is, but where it's going to have to shift, meaning you're not going to get younger. And if a guy's going to start going to college when he's 30, I'm not saying that's the age cutoff, but when if a guy is going to go when he's 30, he's starting off later. It's not impossible, but it's just it's harder at that point to start things. And
But Derek, first of all, but I don't understand, why is let's say a 29-year-old starts law school or whatever, medical school, whatever he's doing, and 22-year-old
Or his own pet company.
or his own pet company,
Or his
whatever you want to do, an app, whatever he wants to buy a nursing home. I'm just saying is, what is the difference? He's going to have the same amount. He's at the same stage in a marriage. Unless you're going to say, I don't know if a law firm or a doctor's office is going to hire a 35-year-old.
no, you're right.
That's not true. Who says? Mechetesi. Do you know that for a fact? That if the girl's thinking, well, he's only going to finish law school now at 35, I don't know if they're going to hire him at 35. I don't know if that's true. However, he's at the same stage at the 22-year-old kid.
Yeah. Right. I hear. This is my impression of what girls are thinking. They'll think differently if the guy is 22 or if he's 26, 27. They'll expect more.
I just think
I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about it now.
No, but
good point.
I think in shidduchim in general, I should say one thing.
Jared, yeah.
Shidduchim in general,
Yeah.
I think everyone has to put their mind in the other person's mind. Put your foot in the other person's shoes.
Yeah, and that's something I've been arguing recently, which is they should show empathy. You have to show empathy, and you have to, and by doing empathy is by doing exactly what you said. That's putting yourself in the other person's mindset. I got into a little scruffle with someone the other day.
Physically?
A scuffle. And I called him out. We were in shul. We were arguing. I called him out. And I got to the problem right away. I said, what are you dealing with that you feel your problem outweighs everyone in the shul? The guy just told me right away, he's like, I can't have any kids. I gave him a hug, and I'm like, let's cry together. Why are we arguing this or that? I can't get married, you can't have kids, let's daven for each other. So you have to jump to, this is what these girls need to do. Like, you know what? I don't really see a future with you, but I will give you a date. I'm going to go out with you a few times, and I will find the one you're supposed to be with. That's what they need to do. Let's move on, gentlemen, here. How is the process different with you guys specifically with shadchanim? And I mean this by, there's a difference really when you're actually in yeshiva and you're learning and you're getting set up through a shadchan rather than being like in the modernish community, in the modern yeshivish community. There are definitely some obstacles and some differences here. Tell me about it. What are some things that kind of stand out a little bit to you guys?
So the always big problem with shadchanim and yeshiva guys, especially not a very yeshiva shadchan, is I don't think they fully understand.
That is machshav.
Not machshav. They don't understand each guy's perspective on what they want with regards to learning, and it's hard for them to give it over to the girl. So sometimes as the girls, they'll do phone calls. How many years of learning? What is this? What is that? I feel like the guy it has to be delivered from the guy's mouth to the girl's ears on what he is looking for.
And you want that cut off. You want to cut off from the shadchan and the girls asking these questions.
No, yeah, it's hard. The girls are like, they're doing phone calls, they're asking the shadchan, and sometimes even the shadchan didn't understand. So I feel like sometimes you could risk it and go out on a date, and the guy could very much explain to you what he's looking for. You could see you may like his looks, you may like his personality, and you know what? You say, what he's saying with regards to learning, I feel like there is enough of a plan. I think that's okay. Or let the guy write out or speak out on a voice note and send that exact voice note to.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. You're proposing solutions.
And send it to the girl and say, this is what he
That's
wants.
Very solid idea.
But it's a little bit of a
Very
game.
solid.
I don't think it's a crazy thing.
Now, Derek is a little bit more conventional. Would this work?
And by the way, I don't think it's a crazy thing if the mothers of the girls call the guy. Or call the boy himself and ask him. I just need to know, like, with regards to this, because it's here's things get as it gets closer to the shadchan, it's the girl. Things people like to push their narrative, and it's not exactly what the guy.
And sometimes,
is.
unfortunately, people feel like they have to say one thing to get something else. It's a little bit of a game. I say 10 years, it means 5. I say 3,
right?
it
What
means
does
6.
it mean? Yes.
Right. So
you get married a year in. The guy's he was
Right.
shelling out on the kollel rent, and he's like, it's ending after a year. Oh. What happened here? I thought we had a plan. Did we had a plan? Did we get another sponsor?
5-year plan.
I want to say is that when a lot of the girls who look into the yeshiva guys, right?
Yeah.
They say, a lot of them say, and I understand, a girl wants to be a mother to her kids, but a lot of them say, you know what? She only wants 1 or 2 years in learning because she wants to be a mother. She wants to be a stable mother. I find it such a pella that like they know what the future is going to be already. How do you know that if your husband gets a job and works, that you're not going to have to work? How many both parents in the household, both parents have to work, regardless if even the guy didn't go. Most of my sisters and sisters-in-law work.
I agree.
I don't like, and their husbands did not learn. So I'm like thinking is like, oh, I want to be a mother.
I feel like they want to be the supplemental income as opposed to the main
fine,
bedroom. But I agree.
If they say yeah,
you need two incomes.
Right. If they say no, I don't want to work all day one day. Fine, that's different. But girls who say I want to be a housewife one day, so I want to be home with my kids. I want to be. You have no clue what life is going to bring you
to be a millionaire, basically.
Right. You have no.
Oh, a millionaire.
And I think it's crazy. How do you know what type of mother you're going to be?
Does that still
You may
exist,
want to
though?
get out of the house a little bit and not be home all day with the kids.
Right, you should hear some people who are married for a couple years.
And by the way, I love kids. I would love to be.
We don't need them listening to that podcast.
Yeah.
I would love to be a stay-at-home. I would also love
his podcast coming soon.
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
Avery's gonna host it.
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
Me too. That's the dream.
No, but I'm saying I love
That's
kids
the
and I would love to be
dream,
at home with
son.
my kids.
Moving on. Let me ask you here. Do you ever get an urge to actually ask a girl out yourself?
Call her up.
Well, whatever. You know, you had a simcha.
I have been at
Your cousin has her
Simchas.
number.
I have been at Simchas and I've seen, let's say a girl caught my eye. Not that I'm checking them out. I'm just saying a girl has caught my eye or something.
She was walking right in front of his face.
I don't think it's crazy for you
yeah.
to go up to somebody and say, can you find out about that girl? It doesn't always have to be through, well, no, that's not how you do it. You have to get a shadchan Reddit and this and that. No, if you saw someone, in the olden days, that's what they used to do. They used to, I don't know if this is true, but I heard Moshe Feinstein used to put
Old days is in 10 years.
in like at chasanas, he used to put the boys and girls together at tables. Now, I'm not
you
sure.
know,
I'm not sure if
that's why he
I'm not
was
sure if
asking
I
these
would,
are bullshit.
I'm not sure if I would be comfortable doing something like that. But the thing is it's not so crazy. If someone you saw and you wanted to find out about them, what's their personality like? Maybe it's shaykh.
Right, I hear that.
And Derek,
I
you
wouldn't feel
didn't
comfortable.
answer
I wouldn't go over to a girl and ask her out at this point.
at this point, but there was a time when you would.
Maybe.
Maybe. Can you tell me
Oh,
afterwards?
to ask her directly, I wouldn't do. That I wouldn't do.
Right.
Okay, fine, but I like that you're at least open to a route.
She might also be like, "Oh, he's asking me directly. It's not for me." Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might be, you're getting resumes, and it might not be an array of a selection of what you're looking for, and at least I know you guys are looking out there.
Well, it's also
But
not fair.
We
The
have a lot of
girl-
young.
I didn't say I was looking.
The girl may not be interested.
Oh,
let's say the
whoa,
girl.
whoa. You
Let's say a
see
guy
that?
comes up and a girl
see
doesn't
that?
like. Let's say a guy comes up and the girl doesn't like her looks. Now she's pressured to say yes or something. It's not fair to ask her directly. Maybe she doesn't want to go. She doesn't really want to go out with you.
Girls shouldn't worry about looks. They should worry about
Pneumius.
other things. What can you tell our female audience out there who wants a guy like you?
Well, I think it's amazing still that there are plenty of girls out there who want guys learning, and I think there is a lot more than you think. And at the end of the day, this is what they're being taught, and this is what we believe. If we believe in Torah and Yiddishkeit, this is a very important part of Yiddishkeit, the learning the Torah, and I think it's very, very special. A lot of girls want that. Yeah, I mean, so you guys are doing great out there. Yeah,
There's nothing. There's nothing you can.
I mean, in terms of that,
What do you
it's
like?
good.
Huh? You want them to bring strawberry chocolates on the third date? For you.
Push it.
Push it.
You can cancel with that. I don't know.
I think
I have
that
to think about it a little bit more.
Okay. Good response, Jeremy.
what one of my someone I know, I asked her once. I'm like, do they teach you in the Beis Yaakov system that you get a chelak and olam haba for supporting your husband's learning? Is that why you guys want it? And she said they barely don't talk about it. So
Seminary, they talk about it.
not so. They talk about so much get a chelak and olam haba, and that's the. So she said not really. So I said, so why would somebody whose father makes a lot of money, is a baal bus, very stark, gives a lot of tzedakah, learns every second he can.
Sounds like my father. Yeah.
You can understand a girl who would want that. To her, why can't you do that? The only reason why they would say I want someone learning is because I get a chelak for being meister nefesh for his learning in this. But if they don't teach them the Beis Yaakov system, so then if that's not a big push, then what is the reasoning that you would want something like that? I feel like a lot of times the girls want someone learning because that's what's done, and therefore they're not. I'm not sure if they're so emistic about it. And now I'm not saying it is. A lot of girls are like, this is what's done, and therefore I am emistic about it. Like that's what's done, and therefore I want it. I want to support it. I'm actually what he's doing, but I don't. How many girls are thinking about the chelak of olam haba I get for his learning?
Deep, my friend, deep.
So, but I'm not saying that you have to be on that level, but a lot of times the girls do want guys in yeshiva because that's what's done.
It's you have to find someone who's really amenable to that mindset, and unfortunately or fortunately, we do have this humanistic side to us when we're young, that whatever dreams of our fathers and mothers were given over to us, they're going to have, and it's very rare if that's it. It's very rare. I've seen it. I know people who literally, and I can tell you, I'll tell you off this mic. No, but I've seen people who live that, but very rare. But
I think
needless
also
to say,
there's another
very profound.
I think also there's another part like that. If a girl, like you mentioned Beis Yaakov system about olam haba and stuff like that. If they don't have what's a girl's tachlis? Like what someone should be thinking. How am I gonna get? For guys, it's very simple. Learn as much as you could. Learning Torah is the most important thing. For a girl, what's her end goal? What's her in Yiddishkeit? She's a growing person. What does that mean? She goes to shiurim. She listens. She's she's inspired. Where's her? What should she feel like? A lot of the things they're teaching them is that your tachlis is kids. Your husband, help him. So they want a guy that's going to get them to that. They want the kids stark and learning, and they want their husband learning. That is taught. I mean, I don't know if they teach about olam haba. That's one of their avodas.
Right.
They need a family to deal with, to send them to school and give them candies. And
it goes to show us what girls are in, that these girls aren't getting that. They're not willing to give that. They're unfortunately, there's an epidemic here.
And there's a lot of girls that they're single and what's going on? What should they be doing at that point?
By the way, look, some of them are.
24,
I will say some of them
26.
are ready, and
they give a lot of tzedakah.
It's no mazel.
This is what I want to say about for guys. It's a little bit more difficult because a guy is in yeshiva and he wants to learn. He wants to
he wants that full.
He wants to learn Hashem's
yes.
Torah. So it's very hard to tell a guy. Well, let's say a guy's older and he still wants to learn. Well, try to be more open-minded and go for the working. It's but I want to learn. But for a girl, it's what's the mila in a ruchniya sense of wanting a working guy? I'm not saying that the girl. I'm not telling girls who don't want someone learning and they're older that they should do it. I'm just saying for a girl, it's easier in a way to say, okay, I'll take a learning guy. There are pluses to that, but for a guy who wants to learn, we're all in this world to do Torah mitzvahs, and so one of the big things for a guy is to learn. So it's not easy for him to say, sure, because I'm having a difficult time shadchanim, I should just give up. So I will say a lot of people think that yeshiva guys know nothing what's going on around them. Yeah. There are a lot of yeshiva guys who are, like I said before, mufka. Like they really don't know, and whatever reason it is, they're not interested in the news.
They're ditzy. They're unperceptive.
Right? Or it's like, why do I need to know it? I'll do my shtalis and vote, but
they're oblivious.
Right? But but I'm saying, even if they don't want to be oblivious, the reason they don't want to do it is because we have to. The main thing in life is Torah, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and there are outside sources, outside things that you have to vote to make sure we have that. But I don't care who won. Like there are people I know that literally guys in yeshiva, the night after that horrible election night when Trump lost, not lost, allegedly lost.
You and I were crying. Yeah.
Allegedly lost.
Yeah.
There were some guys who Bechlal did not care what the outcome was. Not because, of course, they probably would have rather Trump because he would have been better for Judaism, but. It's like, I did my shtas, I voted or didn't vote, and whatever is Hashem wants, which is a great thing. But a lot of people feel like that's what all yeshiva guys are. Yeah. I can tell you right now, I know more news than guys who never sat in one day.
Well, working on Wall Street.
Not that, and I only know something. I exercise, and during my exercise, I listen to Ben Shapiro. I listen to all these podcasts.
Good, you're exactly who we're looking for.
He's still single, guys.
For two reasons I do it.
What about the ladies?
For 2 reasons I do it. I do it for 2 reasons. Well, before.
Okay, so you're worldly.
No, I'm saying, but the reason is because one, I still like to know what's going on around me.
Yes,
and second, well, it's an outlet.
Absolutely.
It's an outlet that I like.
Right,
now, do I need to know every single thing going on in the world? No, and I try to cut back on that because it could be a distraction sometimes.
It is yes,
but I don't think. But a lot of people feel that like yeshiva guys know nothing, which is so not true.
I love that. So I love that.
Go to Lakewood. The biggest Rush Limbaugh's biggest audience was from people in Lakewood.
No, get out of here! Really?
My brother.
Is this true?
My brother has a chavrusa, grew up yeshivish his entire life. He told me that his wife had a tape record Rush Limbaugh Olav Shalom every day, so that he can listen. He can listen to it at night.
What? It's crazy.
Because there are guys that like to listen. Yeshiva guys have a very similar.
That's a wife right there, right?
What?
Hey, honey, go sit by the recorder and 3 hours right there. Do it. I love that. Wow, find me someone like that. Okay, so now, we're this episode, we discussed in the prep that we're doing a series here about these preconceived notions that you guys bump into all the time. You're Buchrim, you're at Shabbos meals, you're at people's table, and then this woman, this girl Jessica. Jessica's like, oh, you're a yeshiva Buchor. Oh my god. My daughter, she's from and all that and all, and she wants a learning time like you people. Where are all the good guys? Where are all the good guys? Where are they?
You're looking at them.
That's yeah. Derek? Why don't you ever say that? Why isn't that your response?
I would say there's so many good guys out there. I don't know where you're looking.
Oh, you stop it! You just that's nonsense. They're all lazy.
What I really say is, where's all the good girls?
I love it. Push it back, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. But I honestly think there's a lot of good guys out there.
I do also. I know there are.
Right.
I know
there yeshivas
are.
And all. There's actually.
And they're not given a chance.
There's a huge group in the biggest yeshiva in America, BMG. There's a significant, a large amount of guys who aren't 22 anymore, who are single. There's there's hundreds, more than 200-300 guys who are 26, 27, 28. 24, 20, 24,
getting
30
to
range.
Creeping into their 30s,
right?
Yeah.
And they're great guys. I know some of them myself, and that's what I would simple answer because it's an easy way to get out of it. There's tons of good guys. That's what I would tell her right away. But in terms of actually getting to the bottom of it, where are the good guys? Does it have to do with the fact that there's maybe a certain expectation of the guys, you mentioned before? Maybe no one's perfect. We all know that.
But are we setting them up to fail? I mean, by giving this, you're putting words into the world. This has an effect, as Medrash says.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned about mothers at meals. I find it a lot, even with certain shadchanim. You'll make a shadchan,
yeah, and
they'll say you're a great guy, and I'm talking about even the shadchanim who are more. They're not very yeshivish, but they're not man. They're more they send their kids to Beis Yaakov.
I think that's a mantra to draw you in. I'm just not convinced anymore, but I get it.
But those shadchanim, they'll say you're such a great guy, and and let's say you'll say well, a lot of people won't go out with me because my mother doesn't cover her hair, or we're not as wealthy as a lot of people want them to be, or the parents are not,
Trumpsteins.
or the parents not as like spitz as like the
Not
girl,
so-
the girl's
not-
parents, and the shadchan will
not-
say, yeah,
it's an
I- wait,
aquatic
and the
thing. It's
shadchan
an
will,
aquatic thing.
wait, and the shadchan will say, yeah, I don't get it, and I always love to ask the shadchan. Yeah, you would set me up with your daughter. I feel like a lot. I feel like a lot of shadchanim, they like to like talk the talk, and they would never ever. They're just like some of the mothers.
Also,
they're full of it. 100%.
They would never let.
There's this
I'm thinking of
family
a
on the
shadchan
Upper
right now.
West Side. We'll just say their name rhymes with the Weidells, and it is unbelievable with these people. You know, you're like, oh yeah, you think I'm an amazing guy? No, we're not stopping. Get back
Oh my
to
god, I know who that is.
the Weidells. Let's
They
see.
actually
You
said-
know,
they
it's
actually-
just
off, no
annoying.
names.
It's just annoying because
Wait,
there are people out there who just, if you're a biased party.
But you were read to her.
No, I have nothing to do with anyone. I'm on my own island. You know that new island they built. That's where I live in Manhattan. No, I'm not. Stop it. We're going. Stop. We're going. Just get out of the business. Because you're biased and you're not helping anyone but yourself. And I deal with this all the time. Crooked shadchanim, and you should rot
What,
because
they're
all you do
crooked? What, they take
is
after Hillary?
cause trouble.
One thing about
President Trump stole that from me. He stole that from me. I was calling them crooked shadchanim for years.
Wait, but Isaac, a lot of people
All right,
know.
this is
No,
the
Isaac,
problem.
IJ,
This is a pandemic.
IJ,
This is a pandemic. Amen.
IJ, I want to
Avery's
defend.
good. He's-
I like to.
he's
IJ,
not
retired?
doing well.
As much as I'm in agreement with a lot of people, I like to also sometimes give defense to the other side. Now you have to understand, like,
No,
if
there's
a
discordance
certain
here,
girl or a certain guy grew up a certain lifestyle, very wealthy, the mothers are concerned if he or she goes out with somebody who didn't grow up that way, she's gonna want to spend
Yeah, but
a
I'm
certain
sorry,
way.
look,
or
Shine,
wait a
that's
second.
not everybody. Shine, that's not
She's gonna
everybody.
say, okay, it's 2 years
Yeah.
of learning, and now I don't want to live this type of lifestyle. And the guy's like, what do you mean? Why can't you live like this anymore?
Yeah.
And there's a discrepancy because she lived a certain way and he didn't. So a lot of parents are concerned, and you have to understand that.
No. See, you're falling. You're okay. You're
I'm not.
You're
just
totally.
I do
falling
not
for it.
fall
You're
into.
totally
I do not
falling
fall
for
into
it.
anyone's trap.
You
I
are.
try.
You are right that there are differences. So how is it? How is it that it's 30? It's 10,000 girls out there with the same rhetoric. Oh, we just grew up certain ways. I just poured my heart out to someone who I met and I really liked, and we actually have someone in common that we go to, like a big sister. Okay, and this woman knows me very well. We know each other. We really know each other. This woman knows me better than anyone else, honestly, and she's like a big sister. She's actually not that many years older than us. And she knows this girl very well. And I was like, look, we were discussing, she set me up with this girl, and I'm like trying to get her to ask her out. And before she would even think like, maybe I should give him a chance, someone who knows me very well, not just some shadchan calling up, wants us to go out. She writes to me, I don't see it hashkafically. This is how you lead girls to freezing their eggs in their 30s, and it has to stop. Give the guy a chance. Try it out. We know that we need help. We know that we're not as strong. We're not as good as we used to be made, right? Maybe. I would not argue that. But you have to be realistic and look what is in the market today. So let's move on.
Wait, one more thing about shadchanim. Shadchanim.
Yes.
I think it's amazing that a lot of people want to dabble in shidduchim, and I think it's a very nice gesture, and it's amazing, and we need that. But there also is another aspect of like if you're gonna really push a shidduch, you should show if you're gonna just try to bet something and put it out there, they can always say am I interested or I am. But if you're gonna push a shidduch, you should come with your credentials of what I'm a shadchan. I made 10 shidduchim. It shouldn't be like a taboo topic of like I'm a shadchan, but I have no experience. I didn't. In any other business, you have to come and say I sold this many things. I have this much credentials. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but sometimes there are different types of shadchan. There are shadchanim who do it as a job, and a lot of people don't want that. People want shadchanim who do it l'shem shemayim.
But then they shouldn't. If they're going to be pushing and they're saying I really know that, they should.
You're saying in that regard.
If they're just going to suggest an idea, great. Everyone should do that. Call up, but don't
yes.
bug.
I get your parenthetical point.
Right.
I get that. I will just comment and saying I don't want someone who's coming to me and saying, "Oh, I made 100 shadchan." I know someone in Baltimore who reached out to me, some time back. What? No, from Baltimore. No, this
other Baltimore.
Someone with a K, maybe Karen.
Don't say.
Karen?
Oh no, we do.
She's
No,
a-
we
she's a
call
Karen?
people out on the show.
Right.
Who else is calling?
I don't
people
call
out?
anyone out on the
No,
show.
we're
Who
Yeshiva
else?
Buchrim. We
No
don't
Lashon Hara.
we don't speak Lashon Hara.
This
I'm a
woman,
firm Jew.
all she tells me is, and I made
if she-
40 people. I said,
That's
okay,
not bad.
Let me. That isn't bad because I jumped in and I said,
Oh, you
I'm
made
not
this
gonna.
type of
I
shidduchim,
told
not
her.
my type of
No,
shidduchim.
excuse me. I told her I'm not going to give you congratulations. Let me ask you, lady who made all these shows. How about the 300 people who you failed?
Mm-hmm.
Are they happy? Have you checked up with them? Are they having a nice time? Are they having a good experience? Have you been able to get them a date? Oh, 40? Okay, you're the shliach from God. Congratulations. You don't get a congratulations from that. You get that in the next world. Right now, you need to bite the bullet and say, that's not my credentials. I'm going to work for you as if you were my own child.
Right, so that's what you look at
That's
when
what-
you get a
that's
shot.
what
When
we
you
need
say,
to-
I want
Shadchanim
someone-
are not Shadchanim are not your mother. They're not gonna check up to see how you're doing and feeling. If
Unfortunately, right.
they have a life
Unfortunately,
also. If they have an idea for you, but they're not responsible to say, "Oh, I want to know if everything's okay with you." Like, they're not your mothers. Like, you're a grown man,
And that's why
You're a
Lakewood
grown
has
man.
it perfectly. That it's done with Rabbanim. It's done with Rebbeim. This is their full time job, and this is why they have the top success.
And by the way,
and it needs to be replicated.
That which you mentioned, Rabbanim, I think it's imperative that girls get Rebbitzins when it comes to shidduchim.
You're bringing this up.
Not
huh?
saying that Rebbitzins need to make your decisions, but it is imperative that you have someone to talk to. Because if you had a Rebbitzin to talk to,
Yeah.
you or your mother would not be making.
You listen to this podcast because we discussed that a few episodes ago.
No, I feel.
no,
I
he
don't
does,
think.
but not
I
every
feel that a lot of guys who've been in shidduchim for a while have this.
Hey, you got the right one.
No, I don't need to listen
Nice,
to. I don't need to hear the podcast to have this view. I think a lot of guys who are in shidduchim for a while have a very similar views when it
Yes,
comes to
yes.
the girls
Well,
and their
we have-
You could
mothers.
talk to
You need
you
to
could
get
talk to your
help.
parents instead of a Rebbitzin. If it's just in terms of a mentor,
I know,
some girls
but
use their parents as mentors, and it's fine.
You're right, but parents are negei b'davar, and they're gonna.
So unfortunately, everyone's human. A Rebbitzin is human also. A Rebbe is human.
but a
human.
Rebbitzin is
I
not.
agree they have much more das Torah, but
They're not negei b'davar though. A Rebbitzin is going to say, "Listen, I understand this is what you want." But that is a stupid reason. Whereas a mother would be like, okay, I want what's good for my daughter. And like this. Or like Rissel said on a previous podcast that she did.
Rebbitzin
She
Rissel.
said a lot of the mothers want for their daughter what they couldn't have in their relationships.
Oh, I love that.
Which
Yes.
is true.
Very teach.
So therefore,
So
if a
true.
girl says, "Well, he wasn't as chilled out as I would like him to have been," and
yes,
and the
yes,
mother's thinking,
yes.
"Well, yeah, your father wasn't so chilled out anyway. You should get chilled out." And like, but the guy's like great everything else. Like, he's not going to murder you. Like, he's not going to drive you nuts. Like, okay, so he doesn't like a mess. Like, give me a break. Like, he didn't want to park. I had this incident one. I parked at an illegal spot, and I started walking away with the girl, and I said, I'm really not comfortable that you're not really supposed to park there. And I went back, and she said to the shadchan, he's not
discordance on that,
he's not
jump in a lake.
he said he's not chilled out as much as I would like him to have been.
You'll pay the ticket? Is that what you're going to say?
Vehement.
It was hard,
Vehement.
but I knew this going in because the father kept asking my friends on the references. My daughter wants someone who's like chilled out type of guy. And I'm thinking, oh God, she's gonna her tickers are on. She's gonna be listening to everything, and like something like that she complained about, and because the mothers also want that, and that's why I feel it's imperative that they speak to Rebbitzins.
I love it. I love that. Derek, you have any fun stories to share with the island?
You know what? Not that many fun stories.
I have the funniest.
Jeremy, we know you can go all day. Maybe we'll bring you back just for like one episode, just doing all your stories there. Let me ask you on this topic of the guys, right? Why aren't there any guys in that? And from a yeshiva Buchor take, this is very, very, very surreal. Very, very. This is quite a topic. Let's reverse the case, right? Women are on top of guys for going to minyan and davening and learning, and obviously, there's the classic mantra of the opening. Yeah, what are you looking for? Okay. Why else would you be in shidduchim? First of all, like you're in shidduchim. Okay, okay. Here, I'm sure there are 10 things, right? But what if it was reversed? What if men were more strict with women in tznius. Specifically, you, Buchrim.
I mean, when they're married, like what you say to them
in dating.
on the date.
In dating, yeah.
Like we should be more lenient on sneeze.
No. The way they hold learning and davening, going to minyan on right so high. What if you actually said, "Well, we want to do an inspection on your tznius, on are the clothes over the
I want a
elbows?"
ruler. I want to get a ruler.
Absolutely.
You are
Absolutely.
assuming that every girl that's getting set up with you is a tzniuah girl. The question is, what type of tznius do you want? Meaning, there are girls who will just cover what?
No, go ahead. Continue.
Who will just cover the knee, or they'll just cover the elbow. And you may say, I want a girl who will do a little bit more than that, just in case when they sit down, a lot of them don't realize. And then there's a certain type of way people dress. I want a longer sheitel. I want a shorter sheitel. So it's something that you have to be comfortable with. And you have to be open-minded. Meaning, if you're having a girl who's coming from like the Five Towns or from Flatbush, and you want a girl who is more, quote unquote, more tznius, like shorter sheitel, wears the black, you have to understand that they didn't grow up that way, and
you could find that in other
wait, and
also.
don't end the shidduch because of that. Man, you could end the shidduch if she came from that situation and she's, sometimes not, sometimes her elbow showing and this and that. That's a different level. That's a different scenario. But if you're in she's not your level of tznius in regards to the type of dress or the type of sheitel, you have to understand where she's coming from. If she's a girl that grew up in a Rosh Yeshiva's house and she wants like a very long sheitel, which I'm not saying is halachically a problem, then that's something that you could say, I'm not sure if I'm so comfortable. Why does she want that? Because it's not coming from a sense of wanting to look better. A lot of these girls who come from like Five Towns and Flatbush, it's just, that's what's done. People wear those type of things.
Muncie also. I mean, Rockland County also.
But you're having a girl come from Rashiva's house and she wants a longer sheitel, you can question it to yourself it's probably because she just wants to look better and this and that, which is, again, also not a problem. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look there. Guys, Yeshiva guys, including myself, we wear tight-fitted things. If you ask most Rosh Yeshivas, should guys wear tight-fitted things, they would say no. But people like
Styles are changing.
People like to look good,
accepted.
but a girl
Yes,
has a more of a chiyuv of tznius than a guy does.
Right.
So therefore,
I also want to say one thing that on the topic of guys not being so good, I do think now girls, you can argue with this even when a single guy versus a single girl, it's harder to be a good single guy. Meaning, if you were a yeshiva guy, the expectations and the to be that good guy is much more difficult. Why?
Yes.
You're expected to learn hours and hours and hours a day, 10, 15 hours a day. Of course, davening, waking up early, Ben Azman, what are you doing? Shabbos, what are you doing? How much you're learning? Obviously, there's a lot of you're just, there's a lot of to be a good guy, there's a lot of expectations. And you have to be responsible and you have to be this. But I'm not saying I'm not trying to put girls down, but when a single girl could have it much easier, she came back from seminary, good girl, schmack, whatever, and she could wake up whenever she wants. Okay, yeah, she has a job, fine, different, but she doesn't have a job right away.
Right.
She's in some sort of program,
mitzvahs are not time.
Some sort of program, a little chesed, great, hang out with friends a lot, chill out, and this expectation on them is a little bit. It's much less. It's much easier to be a good girl.
Right.
I'm not saying after marriage. I'm not saying when you're a little older, but for sure, when the first stage when they come back, it's not. I have sisters. I have
there's
friends,
no
I have
pressure.
cousins. It's a little bit less pressure.
Less
right?
pressure for them.
You could be a great girl. You go to shul once a week. You're extra credit. You dive in Mariv once a month.
You dive in at all. You could just tell everyone you dive.
You don't have to dive in at all. Yeah,
a guy doesn't go to shul. If I don't go to my minyan, they go, where were you? What happened? We already
Where's
reported you.
Right.
We reported you to the Rosh Yeshiva, the rabbi, the mishkiach, the sofer. The mayor, the governor, the community doctor. We reported you. Guys, I was out of town. Miami, I told you.
Business meeting.
Anyway.
But I think that's an important thing that everyone should keep in mind. That it's in some ways like a girl doesn't have a chavrusa in the morning.
It's
and learning is not easy, guys. So learning is not easy. And sitting there hours and hours a day.
And
learning.
I want to just add to what you're saying is I spoke to my married friend. He told me this. You have to understand something.
You have a married friend?
Off the podcast.
There's a.
Go ahead.
Okay,
we're wrapping it up, guys.
I have a married friend that he told me that you have to understand something. A yeshiva guy, he's in yeshiva all day and being exposed to all the levels of ruchnius, you have a little starker hashkafas than the girl who's out in the world all day, and you have to be understanding of that. Meaning, if the girl says, "I need to like watch a movie, like an appropriate movie once in a while," I'm not. Listen, every guy does what he do, but I understand that because a guy is like, "Why would I watch a movie all day? I'm involved in working all day. Like there should be no reason." But a girl who's out in the world, it's like, give me a freaking break. Like I want a little of an outlet. I need to watch a movie. So, guys, you have to be a little bit more understanding. But I'm not saying you girls are innocent either. I'm not saying you girls.
That's for certain. Okay, awesome. We're gonna just get to our closing, and we will call it another episode in just a moment. All right, episode 49 in the books, the Buchrim Tell All. I am so happy that I had Jeremy and Derek here. Gentlemen, it was so wonderful to have you. Last thoughts for both of you, just a few lines you wanted to leave with our audience?
I want to just talk about IJ for a second.
Go ahead. Hey, did I say a few moments? I meant the full hour.
It was great to be on the podcast, and I feel like there's still a few undeveloped things we have to.
So maybe you'll come back.
Yeah,
for sure,
if need be.
Perfect. Let's do it.
I'm getting used to
if the audience wants it. If the audience wants it,
I think they do.
Right.
I'm going crazy with the buttons here, but no. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm happy because I wanted to make I want our audience to listen to the Buchrim here because you guys are in yeshiva, you are learning, or I know that you have a chunk of your life being in yeshiva, and you can advocate for it as I have been in yeshiva before. And there is a way. I just wanted to give you a voice, and that was really, the most important thing, imperative thing, for us to hear profound thoughts from you guys, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
Anyway, this episode's been in the books. Thank you to all sponsors. Thank you too for coming. As I usually end off, happy face, smiley face, silly face. This is the Nobody Talks Shadchan podcast. Alchi's Media Network.